Hey mate, I'm Alex.
Alan Gaston,
Welcome to PowerMate.
this is the place to learn and share about Fabric and Power Platform. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel with your friends and colleagues.
So hey there, I have been diving deep into Power Apps lately and especially exploring the potential of user-defined formulas. So have you tried them out?
Hey, you know me, Alex. I am kind of new in the Power Apps world, but I am always interested in learning more. So please enlighten us if you help us to understand what are those user-defined formulas. What's the deal with those?
Okay, yeah. Again, from my perspective, it's kind of a game changer because imagine that you have the ability to create your own formulas to manipulate and transform data within Power Apps. So it's a whole new layer of customizations.
That's pretty sounds really cool to me, and remind me, old school guy. Remind me Lotus 1, 2, 3. So
Mhm.
let's get started with this. I love how we can come up with user defined formulas. So what are the very first step that you can make it?
Okay, it's super easy. I'm going to show that the next, but just to give a quick overview, you go to the app. In the Power App application, you have the app section, and in the app section, you have the formula bar. So in the formula bar, instead of using pre-built functions, you create your own. So it's like coding but a little bit simplified.
Interesting. Can you give us an example on that?
Sure. Let's say that you have a list of tasks with due dates and you want, a color code them based on their urgency. So with the user defined formulas, you can create a formula to dynamically change the color of each task based on the due date.
Oh, that is nice. Sounds that you can create kind of a template of a formula and you can parameterize this. So it's to me adds a lot of personalization to your apps.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. And it goes beyond that. You can create like conditional logic and perform some complex calculations too.
Sounds really powerful. Any tips for someone that would love to start with this scenario?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, as usual, start with simple scenarios like manipulating some text or numbers, and then gradually move on the more complex tasks. Using, manipulate date and times could be a little bit complex. So when you feel comfortable using the formulas, like go to the next step. And the more you, as usual, the more you experiment, the more you comfortable you will become. So let's head over to my machine and let's see how it works. Okay, PowerMate. As you can see here, as usual, this is the homepage for the Power App portal. So you have the options here to create your applications. Uh, I have removed here the option for Copilot, but if you are using some environment with Copilot, you are going to see here the Copilot. Okay, you can create different kind of application, data SharePoint, and so on. I'm going to create a simple blank application, canvas blank application, because my purpose today is just to show how to create the user formulas, not to how to create an app, how to add component. That's for next chapters. Okay. So let's click on create a blank app. Let's click on create a blank canvas app. Let's give a name. User formulas. PowerMate. And that's it. Let's create. I have here an application already created that is like the same thing, just to demo purpose. So if you are pretty familiarized with the Power Apps, you remember that you have the main screen here when you create an application and only one, so you can start adding controls, to your screen. Let's say a text box, a button here, and yeah, you can start, building your Canvas app, your layout, and so on. But if you remember here in the tree view, you are going to see the screen or the screens if you have more than one, and then all the components that you have been added to the screen, like buttons, labels, tables, and so on. But then here we have the app component. The app is like the whole application. When we have like the specials functions or behaviors that we can do for the application. For example, maybe some of you have been using on start. That means that all the code that you ran on start is going to be running in the moment that the application is started. Mostly using for, I don't know, calling a SQL query or setting some parameters like, okay, we have states, and so we can define and set the state variable in the initial one, and different thing that you can do. But then, as you can see here, we have the formula ones. So here on the application, we have the formula. And when you click on formulas, you are going to see here that you can start adding some formulas. So let's remove that. And first of all, to make the formulas run, you need to activate some features. That's because the user formulas are still on experiment features. That means that you can start using, but maybe in the future something changed, or maybe someone wants to deprecate. So yeah, you can start working on it. Probably it's going to be available, but in my advice is do not use those experiment features in production environment if you don't want to have a headache in the future. So click here in settings. Then we have general display, incoming features, and support. So we can click on incoming features, and in the incoming feature, we have the preview, experimental, and retire. So as I mentioned before, this feature for the user formula is in the experimental one. If you click on experimental, and you can click here formulas, you can see here is functions, not formula in the name, but yeah, it's okay. At the end, you have user defined functions. Okay. So user defined functions and name formulas with parameter for logic reuse. So you can activate clicking here. And what happened? This feature has some dependencies that we need to activate. For example, the new analysis engine. So let's find the new analysis engine feature. Let's turn on, here saying that after you enable the feature, you need to save the application and reload the page. So it's something to keep in mind, because if you don't do that, you are going to try to make something works and it's not going to happen, it's not going to work, and it's because you need to activate those two features, close here, save the application, and after the application saves, you need to reload the application. And that are like critical steps if you don't want to spend a couple of minutes or maybe an hour trying to figure it out what happened and what your application is not working. And that is because you need to reload the page at SYS. So I reload the page with those features activated. Skip, got it. Okay, yeah, I need to override the application. So we can check again here that in the incoming features, in the experimental, we have already activated the new analysis engine and the user-defined functions. Okay, so now, okay, let's say that we want to set this text box, as a formula. And we need that the formula, let's keep it simple. It's like multiply two numbers. So we came here to the app, select formulas again, and let's say that we have created application a formula named multiply two numbers. Multiply numbers, just to say something, okay? And okay, so what the syntax, for create an application is the function name, as I have here, then the parameters. So you can add the parameter number, for example, name one, and then the type, the data type of the parameter. In my case, is a number. So I add here, and you can see here, you can add different types of parameters: booleans, colors, date time, git, hyperlink, number, text, time, and type of option. I'm going to select number, and of course, if we want to multiply numbers, at least I want two numbers. You can just use one and multiply for some number. Let's say multiply for 10, so you can create the formula. Maybe it has no sense, but you can use the formula if you want. So number two, the type number, and then you close here the function. But because it's a function, you need a return type. You need a return data type. What is it going to return? My function is going to return a number because I want to multiply two numbers. The function could be calculate a date, so you can send two numbers, and then the function return a date because you want something else. So you don't need to have the same kind of data type. So yeah. So then I'm going to put here numbers, and then you add here the date, the return type, and then an equal. And here you need to define your function. What it's going to do, my function is to return the num1 multiply for num2. And that's it. That's my function. And again, what is the format of that is the function name, parameter, data type of the parameter. You can add 2, 3, 4, 5 different parameters with different types. Then the return type of the function, and then the formula of your function after all the right side of the equals symbol. Okay, that could be, if you are like a programmer or you are used to programming, that could be the body of your function. Is a definition, the parameters, the return type, and this is the body of your function. If you are more like a JavaScript, or you are used to maybe use some Excel formulas in the past, is pretty similar. So we just click on save here. And let's test that on this particular text box. Let's say that we want to multiply numbers. Doesn't matter. 12 multiply for 2. And you can, as you can see here quickly, the result is 24 because, of course, it's multiplied 12 by 2. So, but again, you can start adding more and more complexity to your functions, adding other kind of things. I think that this is super useful to calculate margins with percentage. An example could be when you calculate revenue, that you have different components for this calculation, so you can start working on it. But let's have one more example, just to not use the simple ones, that is using numbers. Let's use something different. So let's click again on app, on formula, and let's add a new one. As you can see here, it's pretty easy. You split the function with the semicolon. So semicolon, enter. Let's say that is like traffic lights. Traffic light receives, let's say, a number again, because I want a number. Number one, number. Could be a text, because imagine that you want an state. So you have a workflow and you want to select if yellow, green, or red depend of a state. I'm going to use a number. You can translate an state like a number, so it's the same thing. And we are going to return a color. Oh, wow, you return a color. That is how you can do that. Okay, so let's use something simple, a color. And what is my color? I'm going to use an if here. So I'm going to say if number equal to 0, return color red. Okay? So if the number if equal to 1, I'm just random numbers, but equal to 1, of course, return color yellow. And last, if number 1 if equal to 2, return the color green. Of course, I am using like the regular traffic light colors, but you can using like different kind of colors. If I you can see here, if I click on colors and click on the dot, you're going to see like there's a bunch of colors that you can select. So yeah, let's add color red here, and that's it. Okay, I have a typo here because the parameter it's on lowercase and not in uppercase, and that's okay. So what happened here? Someone say, okay, I need a color, and you send a number, and if the number is 0, it's going to return red. If the number is 1, going to return yellow, and if the number is 2, it's going to return red. But you can use that with a state, with text, or even you have like 10 flow state and you want to paint different part with colors, you can use this kind of functions. And so let's see how it works. Pretty simple. You know that in the bottom component you have the fill option. So in the fill now we have a color here is the RGBA. So let's see, we want to use the formula. So let's use the traffic light formula, and let's use the number 2. That should be green, yellow. No, the 2 is red. I am using okay. Is number okay? Yeah, I've here. Okay, I want to use green, and I use yellow, red. Okay, yeah, now we are okay. So here, as you can see here, the traffic light, if the number is 2, green. If the number is 1, it's going to be yellow. If the number is 0, it's going to be red. And it's super simple to create a formula. And just to finalize that part, and so imagine that you can create super complex formulas using collections. So you can use for all, taking data, calculating, I don't know, working hours or weekdays, this kind of calculations that seems to be pretty simple what you think about it. But when you want to use that calculation in every single control you have in your application, start to be a mess adding the same formula each time. So you can create your formula and then you reuse in the way that you want. And so that's it on terms of the demo. Did you follow me, Gaston?
Yeah, got it. That is really super helpful. And for someone like me coming from the data analytics world, this space talking about formulas feels like home. So one quick question is there any kind of community resources that you recommend for further learning around user-defined formulas?
Yeah, absolutely. The PowerApps community is fantastic. There are forums, tutorials, and even template of apps that you can see how to others are using the user-defined formulas. But I recommend to start on the Learn on Microsoft Learn, so you can start with the PowerApps and this kind of features.
Yeah, great. I'm gonna check it out. And thanks for the heads up, Alex.
No problem, Gaston. Have fun exploring the power of the user-defined formula. It's a game changer for sure. So, PowerMate, that's all for today.
Stay tuned because we are coming with more in-depth insights, tutorials, and exciting news here in our channel.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and join us on this journey.
Together, let's unlock the full potential on Power Platform and Microsoft Fabric.
Yeah.